Hi, I'm David Fieni, and I'm going to explain to you why it is important to understand the underlying mechanisms of the rhythms in the human brain. Have you ever met someone who lacks rhythm? Actually, you haven't. Neurons in the human brain are capable of firing action potentials in rhythmic patterns that form oscillations. These oscillations allow the brain to keep time. They can range in frequency from 0.02 to 600 Hz. This leads to a multi-clock system which ensures vital autonomic functions run smoothly while still allowing humans to create and recognize unique patterns of activity in music, sports, and speech. Autonomic regulation is involuntary, meaning no efferent brain input is required. Rather, these systems are governed by a steady, recurring beat. A central pattern generator, or CPG, is defined as a neural network that does not require sensory input to generate a rhythm. These networks are typically found in the central nervous system. They are a key aspect in autonomic regulation. CPGs are driven by what is known as a half-center oscillator. In its simplest form, this refers to two neurons capable of rhythmogenesis when firing together. When the first neuron fires, it simultaneously inhibits firing and induces a slow depolarization in the second neuron. The second neuron then fires and interacts in the same fashion with the first. This cycle allows for a rhythm to be maintained over time. Respiration is perhaps the most important process governed by a CPG. Through multiple phases of oscillation, a neural network is capable of maintaining a level of oxygen in the blood by triggering the lungs to expand and contract at the correct time. The circadian rhythm is one of the most thoroughly studied biorhythms. This pattern controls the human sleep cycle. It is driven by the sensing of light as well as the internal clock of the brain, known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is an example of a rhythmic system that incorporates sensory information from the environment as well as an internal CPG. It is believed that most memory consolidation takes place during sleep. The maintenance of the circadian rhythm is vital to learning. Cognition refers to the type of rhythms that human beings are capable of generating, be it from recognition or sheer creativity. The perception of music is often used as a model in research pertaining to cognitive neuroscience, especially that which focuses on understanding rhythm. For example, the research project BrainBeats aims to employ the simple musical task of tapping in time with a beat to further understand rhythmic processing in the human brain. Music may be the most obvious example of human rhythm. Locomotion, in general, is governed by CPGs. However, the ability to learn a new sport is based on learned perturbations in previously generated oscillations. The term muscle memory refers to this. It is the ability for muscles to act in coordination with one another without the constant input from the brain telling them exactly when to contract. Human language has a certain cadence to it, which allows us to understand one another. This cadence is a rhythm maintained in the auditory cortex learned during childhood. The broad spectrum of languages all break down to shifts and perturbations to this oscillation. There have been several proposed models that describe rhythmic processing. These typically use an example organism, such as a bird or a monkey. Many birds are capable of listening to a tutor song provided by their mother and generating a near-perfect replica upon reaching adulthood. This phenomenon provides a simple way to study the recognition, perception, and generation of a rhythm in animals. It has been hypothesized that birds achieve this in two different ways. The first is through error learning. This employs a continuous signal generated from auditory feedback that computes the difference between the template song and the song in training. This signal is then minimized to achieve almost perfect synchronization. Reinforcement learning was one of the first proposed answers to the issue. It requires the presence of a critic in the avian brain. Assuming the song in training is closer to the template than the last trial, the critic is capable of activating the cascade that creates NMDA receptors. This facilitates learning of the correct version of the song. It has been shown that humans demonstrate a 15 to 30 Hz beta rhythm while performing muscle coordination exercises. When their cortical local field potentials were recorded, conscious macaque monkeys showed the same frequency while performing similar coordination activities. It has been said that macaque monkeys are an even more accurate model than songbirds. The human brain is full of various oscillations that combine to give our brain the many capabilities it possesses while also keeping us alive. It is crucial for the advancement of neuroscience to further understand how these rhythms are recognized, generated, and processed.